Welcome, everybody, to this week's show. This is the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. I am your host, Russell Gibson. This is episode 263, and we are with Joe Foo, aka Shaq Foo 32. Mr. Foo, how are you today, sir?
Hey Russ, lovely to be back on the show. Awesome day, man. Had a really great day today.
Fantastic. Did you see the highlights from the Miami Washington Wizards game?
I could not avoid it because I was watching the Charlotte
It was just
game.
everywhere, wasn't it? Yeah, it was
like
absolutely everywhere.
And then you watch and jump over to the LA game, and no joke, they announced like Bam Adebayo has scored 83 points, and you just hear the boos because it's LA, because it's Kobe's record is 81, so they were just like boo, which was hilarious.
Tyson Beck was not too happy about it. He basically was saying that it was like disrespectful towards Kobe Bryant's point scoring.
I genuinely thought they were going to sub him off at 81.
Yeah, right.
I thought they were done. I thought they were like, 81, great. And they'll finally bring him off. And then he went back and shot 2 more free throws. I was like, what? He broke it?
It's disrespectful, apparently, when someone in the NBA gets a late basket as time expires when the game is over, but it's not disrespectful that a team can extend a game up 27 to manufacture an extra dozen possessions by fouling and creating an extra 15 points for a player. Yeah, 100%, Tyson. Look, I'm sort of in two minds about this, to be honest with you. Like, I get what Tyson's saying about the end of game stuff, but I actually think he's more talking about Kobe's legacy than anything else. But I got to tell you, I didn't watch the highlights. So for people at home that don't know, I watched a little bit of live basketball, but most of the stuff I watch is after the fact, because I like to watch the abridged version game. So you can watch possessions only, and you can get through a whole game in about 35, 40 minutes. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. I got through about halfway through that game, and I couldn't watch anymore. Like that's not basketball.
It was over. Like Bam had 31 points in the first quarter, which is kind of what kicked it off in the first place.
That's like that I respect, but all the rest that they did in terms of like intentional fouling, letting him shoot everything, whatever. I mean, this is not the first time it's happened in NBA history, though. The one that you'll probably remember is when David Robinson needed 71 to get the scoring title, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. Like, it's not about basketball or winning basketball. You're just feeding someone to get them their stats. So
and and that's the thing. Like, I watch a lot of games live because, as you know, on the side I dabble in sports betting, and like most of the time,
I actually didn't know that.
So like I dabble in it, and because of all the picks that I do on a daily basis, you watch a lot of these games, and a lot of these athletes, they finish. So like they get the lead, the team gets their lead, and they check out by the third or fourth quarter because they want to save their legs, right? Most often than not, Bam should have been done by the third quarter, know, and let somebody else shoot some baskets, for Christ's sake.
I mean, I suppose when you've got that many points, so like, and there's at this point in the season where it is getting to be the doldrums of the season, like this is the really tough part of the season, sort of, game 60 to game 82. It's rough. Maybe that's what they wanted, which is a bit of excitement and see how many points you could get. But anyway.
And this kind of bridges over to, the talks about tanking and how do they fix it. And I really like the idea for like a lot of these bottom-sided teams for like basically it gets to like halfway through the season or a third of the one third of the season. And then every win by these bottom-sided teams gets them closer towards a top draft pick. So then it flips over. I think it was Bill Simmons or someone said it, where they either basically they get like, instead of tanking to the bottom and trying to finish dead last, right? There'll be a stage where these teams no longer qualify for the playoffs. They can't qualify, and so once you've gotten your 8 teams or 10 teams or 12 teams that can't qualify for the playoffs anymore, that's when these bottom-sided teams, it flips over. So the remaining games of the season, for every win they get like a higher percentage towards their draft pick.
But I think what would happen then is remember the Philadelphia process?
Yes.
Teams would implement that from game 1.
Yep.
And then at the end of the season, when the
Yep.
odds are in, then they'll start to win games. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think that's just problem shifting. I don't think it
Yeah.
actually does anything at all.
No.
What's your idea to fix tanking? Is that your favorite
I mean,
idea?
look, I didn't mind that one, but like
Yeah.
honestly, like it gets to a stage where you can kind of go like, look, there's 30 balls, 30 teams, and we just roll them out every year,
Yeah.
because like that's the only way to kind of just go like, you know what? 30 teams, everyone gets equal share. There's none of
Yeah.
this,
I
there's no protection, there's no defense.
yeah. I actually feel like you could ask me this question 10 times and I'll give you 10 different answers, but right
Mm,
now, how I feel is like I actually like what they've done in terms of flattening out the hobby
mhm.
odds,
Yep.
and I think they just need to do that, but extend it out further. So make it instead of the
Yep.
top 3, make it the top 5. So
Yep.
then
And then like
there's no
and then like move
real
from the
need
finals
to
first
tank
six.
too
Yeah.
badly. So that all
Yeah.
all it means is the tanking will go from instead of 1, 2, and 3, it'll be 6 and 7, may tank. Like, and
Yeah.
that's it. And I think
Yeah. Because like there was I like the one which was floated out, which is like a bottom finals. You know how like when you used to play like recreation league and like the top teams, so the top 8 teams will play a top finals, then
yeah.
and they will win the NBA grand finals, and then the bottom 8 teams would play like a bottom wooden spoon final. And like, but the
Well,
problem is that you'd have the process again, right? You'd have these teams who would deliberately go, "Hey, next year's Cooper Flag, we will tank and play in the bottom finals so that we can win that and get Cooper
yeah.
Flag."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
so
Yeah.
so yeah. Look,
Alright,
I'm
hobby
not envious of the people who have to try and fix this tanking problem.
no, definitely not. We've segued hard already here. We were talking about Bam Adebayo. Buy, hold, or sell Bam at the moment because I think heaps and heaps of Bam is gonna be flooded to the market in the next day, and we've already seen it happen already with Facebook posts and Facebook groups. People are listing them up hard. On screen here, I've got an eBay, listing where someone basically were trying to sell it for $13, and then he's taken it down because of the 83-point game, so, yeah.
Yep, you know what? They it I think it's not really gonna give it that much of a boost. Honestly, Bam was not that exciting before. He's got the 83 points, he's got the record, but rest of the season he's a 20 and 10 guy.
Yeah. I I put him into the category of his talent is more than his hobby value. So I'm
Yeah,
kinda hoping at one point, actually, this is gonna turn around because his stuff is really cheap. I think he's a
yeah,
fantastic player. He's
yep,
cerebral. I like watching him play, well, except for
yep,
today, that sucked, but,
yep.
um, so maybe actually this will give him a little bit of boost along and people might give him a bit more respect.
Well, he'll get
Yeah,
some sales. Like he'll get some sales. It's not a bad time if you've been holding on to your Bam Adebayo. This is probably your best excuse to sell it now,
yeah.
and maybe make a few extra bucks than you would have before.
I mean, even
Will it?
sell it at comps. I mean, who cares? Just if you wanna get rid of your BAM stuff, like, take this opportunity to get it out.
Honestly, you had no
Seriously.
chance to sell it before. Like
Yeah,
nobody
so
was just, so now use your opportunity to sell it now.
that's
But
it,
don't
yeah.
expect it to shoot to the moon. That's what I advise people. Don't expect it to go like you know 500x or 1000x. Like yes, he got
Yeah.
a record. He didn't really do it in the most exciting fashion either. Like
No.
was it 36 free throws. Like if he went out and freaking went all guns blazing and he could not be stopped, like teams deliberately tried to stop him and it was a close game,
Yeah.
fair enough, fair game. You could not stop this guy, he was a monster.
No.
But it was like game was already over from like the third quarter onwards, and they didn't even rest him, didn't even sit him, they just kind of kept him chugging along.
Yeah.
So it was not a sexy 83 points.
Was not. Do you wanna talk about your Steph Curry mail day and your Tyson Beck mail day, or do you wanna talk about a temperature check of the hobby?
I really look, like since we already brought up the Tyson Beck and we mentioned him before, we might as well show off what he's been working with
Yeah, for sure,
lately.
man. Yeah.
Um, I actually haven't been able to chase down any of his cards for the last 3 years. That's how hot his drops have been.
Yeah.
You log online and they're just gone in 60 seconds. I was quite fortunate, however, that while I was driving, I remembered that he had an auction on, and I was able to pick up one of these. It actually comes in a beautiful box now, so he's actually got it inside one of these Tyson Beck's boxes, which
Yeah.
is a nice. But the card itself is this. which is a MVP All Star, which he dropped as a surprise drop, which is probably part of the reason why I was able to get it, was because um, it was a surprise drop, and I don't think a lot of people were able to set their bots to go get it.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Because I had a heap of time. Like I had time to browse. I probably maybe would have even gotten two had I not been in such a panic.
Is that your first Steph Curry autograph?
This is my fifth actually.
Okay, okay.
So I've actually gotten four other Tyson Beck Steph Curry autos as well.
Yeah, nice, man.
In the
That's
back in the day. So like pretty much when he was just starting out and he basically started dropping Spider Mitchell and you know and getting all the other guys into the game. Kyle Kuzma was a drop as well, I remember.
oh,
Um, so like but those are the early days of Tyson Beck. And like, I was quite lucky when he started dropping Giannis, Allen Iverson, Shaq, Curry, that I was able to nab pretty much all of those cards when he first dropped them.
sick, man. That's need to do a like a card summary and post it up on Instagram. Tag us in, man. I'll share that
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, no, I'll do that for you.
What is your temperature check on the hobby at the moment? Tell us about that.
I think since the changeover, it's still pretty hot. Like there've been some big splashes, as you've reported, there've been some very big splashes in terms of, like Pokemon doing some big drops,
Yeah,
NBA cards are still hot as ever. There've been some very good rookies as well, which has really helped the league and the hobby keep going.
yeah,
Because I reckon if you have like too many bad rookie years, people aren't excited. No one's really buying, product. But when the changeover happens at the right time, which is now, they switched it over, and you got Cooper Flag, you've got VJ Edgecombe, you've got Con Canopple, like you've got some great rookies taking over now.
yeah. But what about just generally in the hobby though? Like, how are you feeling since the changeover from tops and fanatics? Like, where are you at with sort of all that's been going on?
To be frank, I actually haven't been jumping on board for a lot of the breaks as of yet because I'm still trying to wrap my head around what am I chasing? What products do I want? Like I'm still kind of reconfiguring, which products I want to chase. And I think I'm still stuck in the Patini age because the last thing I was chasing was the Rainbow Chase, the Revolution Rainbow Chase, which
Yeah,
was a Panini product. And I'm still kind of still trying to chase a lot of those Panini products, like your Kabooms, your Downtowns, these color, like the Color Blast, like stuff that I know are gone
yeah.
and I can't get them anymore.
Yeah, like, do you think the hobby is healthy at the moment? Do you think it's like it's unhealthy? Like, where are you at with just sort of general like trends that's happening? I suppose. Yeah,
I think, look, the hobby is still healthy. Like
yeah,
it's still going strong. There's still plenty of money flowing and coming and going in the hobby. I'm still meeting a lot of like, beautiful, happy people who are just coming on board. And, like a lot of them, that I meet online, they're just like dads, just like their kids want to get into the hobby and they're buying these cheap dollar cards and, $2 cards and, trying to build their PCs for them, you know some of them probably spend a hell of a lot more than I would expect for their kids, but you know what? To each their own.
yeah, yeah. Look, I think I need to do more work into this. What I'm about to say, but I'm
Mm.
actually worried that we're almost in like a bubble at the moment. So
I would not be surprised.
yeah, and
What
I
makes you
want to
think
be
that?
I want to be more specific about the bubble that
Mm.
we're in. I think that we're in a tops Chrome or tops flagship or new tops bubble. So
Yep.
again, very, very small sample size. I need to do a lot more
Yep.
work on this. But for example, we hit this card in a break I did 1 or 2 weeks
Mhm.
ago,
Yep.
out of a mega box. I think the total buy-in for the box was, let's call it $250 or $280, right? So like, pretty small.
Ooh.
When this card came out of the break, initially when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, it's a gold card. Okay, that's great."
Yep.
So put my
Yeah.
Panini brain. Okay, this is number to
And you're like,
10.
"Oh,
Okay,
John
this
Penn."
This is numbered to 50. Okay, like that's a
Yeah,
it's a really nice card. It's an on-card
yeah,
autograph. Look, I like this kid,
yep,
and to be honest with you, I've had him in my
yep,
run sheet. I like the way he
yep,
plays. He's good to watch. I've
yep,
got no problems with him. He's a good
yep,
prospect, but
yes,
at this point, he is a C grade LaMelo Ball,
yep,
in my opinion. That's like a
yep,
pretty nice assessment.
yeah,
Check out
and
the
so therefore
sales. Check out the sales on this guy though. He is not a C grade. Okay, exclude the one of one. Like that's way out. I wanna try and find the one that's numbered
holy
to
crap.
to 50. Like, this stuff is not prospecting prices. This is numbered to 5. That's
Yeah,
2,500 USD. That number to
yikes.
50, I can't find the comp for it, but you just have to trust me
Yep,
on this. It's sold
yeah,
for about $1,000 Aussie. So,
holy
um,
smokes.
and that's numbered to 50. And so,
Yeah,
like, it really like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not trying to create, like, doom and gloom. Like,
you
fantastic. If
know,
people are excited
there's
in
the
the hobby.
25, that's like
Here's the
1,000.
25.
Yeah,
Alright, that's 1,000
yeah,
US, man, which is
yeah,
approximately 1,500,
Australian.
Aussie dollars. Yeah, so my
Yep,
estimate number to 50 of 1,500 was
yep,
probably about right. Yeah, so
that's huge.
and, this is a pretty low-end prospect that is on
Mhm,
a team that's not very exciting. Traditionally,
yep,
people aren't collecting him. So, like, if you're asking me about, the hobby health at the moment, that's probably my 2 cents and, like, where my head is, like, going to at the moment. I think I was talking to Tyson on Sunday just to say, like, actually, for me, it's been a really good reset, and I've actually sort of stepped out of doing a couple of things I had been doing, and now I'm sort of getting back in now that I sort of understand what Tops is doing. And
yep.
look, Tops 3, I don't have the testicular fortitude to go and buy an entire box of it. Like, and the prices on that are spiking too, and that probably furthers
Yep,
my thing about a bubble. But I like it. Actually, I think it's
yep.
nice. I think if you hit one of those cards in a break, whatever you got, I think you'd be really happy. So it's kind of a fun product.
Well, like Tops 3, like I've seen a lot of that Tops Midnight come out, and the designs from that are really, really eye-catching, really spectacular.
Yeah,
Really nice theme. Like, I mean, look, I, I'm an '80s kid, like so I'm the same with you. Like, we grew up with Tops, we grew up with Upper Deck, Fleer, Skybox. So like
yeah,
seeing Tops originally reach back and do a kind of a callback, but now they're bringing in the other products now. It's really nice to see these other products come out and to see that they're actually very well designed as we expected. And because they now got licensing, the cards look 1,000 times better.
100%. Yeah, it's actually really hard to get around the unlicensed stuff, isn't it? Except for
Well,
Tyson
which is
Beck.
why, like, I've always loved Tyson's work because, like, he's worked out a beautiful way to kind of redesign the card and avoid the whole like this is like there's no you can't even see like you see the All Star, you see Steph Curry, but he's really just kind of designed it and jigged it in a way that you can really you you actually don't really notice that there's a missing logo, or anything,
Well, the
right? So
artwork is so good.
oh, it's just yeah, he just does a
Yeah,
beautiful job, you know.
yeah. Tell us about your rainbow chase that's going on at the moment that you're
So I think last time I talked with you guys, I had just started the rainbow chase. So I started the one of one. So most people try to finish with the one of one, and I always advise like if you're trying to chase a rainbow and you're like me and you must finish it, like yeah, I gotta finish this thing now. Like so like I started with the one on one because it would just drive me absolutely insane knowing that the set is incomplete if I had everything else but the one of one. And and knowing that the person who holds the one of one would therefore be able to hold a ransom on me, or they wouldn't even want to let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
So like what started it all was actually somebody came to me with an offer to sell this, which is the Kaleido from Revolutions, one of one, as you can see from the little one of one badge on the bottom there. But what started the chase was this. So I was offered the one of one to begin with, and then I was like, you know what? I have never done a rainbow chase, like a proper Panini rainbow chase. I've bought cards and I've just kind of just mashed them all together, but I've never chased a set from start to finish. And so I started chasing it and started with the Legends one of one, and then just worked my way through. And it's been probably about, I want to say about a year now.
Yep.
And I'm down to one last card,
Yeah,
which
sweet.
is the
So how many's in the set? And yeah.
it is, let's see now. So that's 9, 18, 18, 24 cards in the whole set.
That's actually a pretty decent chase.
Very doable. Very doable chase. So like, started with the one of one. I'm missing the out of five. The one of five, which is the purple swirl. And I've got everything else, but I've got a few of the other cards sitting in America that are going to get posted over pretty soon. Then I can add it to my folder. But I started with the one on one. I gave myself an estimated budget of about $1,500 to finish the chase. And I have to say, it was been pretty accurate. I built a little Excel spreadsheet and just, marked everything in whenever I bought it. And yeah, every time I added a card, I deducted from my budget. And yeah, I pretty much landed with one last card to chase and about a good enough money to fund it.
Tell us about your love of spreadsheets.
Look, I think I've always done them. It was always been, and it's because of my partner. She's a CFO, and so she's also a certified accountant as well. And she just made me do spreadsheets to keep track of my cards because I told her, like I dabble in hobby and I buy and sell cards, and she's just like, "Is it profitable?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I always have money." And she's like, "No, no, no. Have you looked at how much profit you get when you buy and sell your cards?" And I was just like, never thought of it that way. And she goes, "You might be surprised. You might surprise yourself. You might be able to, because she'd known me a while. She's like, you do this very well. Why don't you do this as a proper thing?" And she goes, "The only way you could figure out whether you could make cards a job is if it's profitable enough to sustain." So she made me do a spreadsheet and I track my buys and sells, and yeah,
So
started
without
there.
disclosing too much information about your personal life,
Mm.
you don't do it full time though, do you? So why don't
No.
you do it full time? Because I think that's a
Look,
really
more
interesting
so,
question, actually.
I think look for life for basically like in terms of like, yes, it is very glamorous to do cards full time, but like
Is it?
I got a family, I need weekends, like
Hey,
I got
hang on. Whoa, whoa. What glamorous? What are you talking about?
I mean, look, a
Where's the
lot of
glamour?
people look, a lot of people fantasize about like doing cards full time. A
That
lot of
that
like
hang on. Fantasy is one thing, reality is like something else, right? Like,
exactly,
yeah, yeah,
exactly. So so it is very. A lot of people think, oh yeah, doing cards full time would be the dream, and and I've always been warned about, and but this was by my dad too. He goes, look, never turn your hobby into your passion into your job because you'll kill your passion.
yeah, yeah.
And so like I said, like he's always had truth to it. Like I love snowboarding, became an instructor, did it for 5 years, and then I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm done snowboarding.
Yeah.
you know so like, look, I don't do it full time. I do it to I kind of I gave a try, took a look at it, but to really make it work, you got to attend a lot of shows, you got to do a lot of live selling as well to keep it going. And it's a 24/7 job. You got to keep
Yeah,
lining up
100%.
deals. If you don't have a license from Tops, you like, how are you getting product? How are you getting
Yeah,
stuff to sell? And then if you've got like product, you got to sell it to the recommended retail price. You can't just like, go and sell it at the shill price on eBay,
yeah.
because if you get caught out by Tops, guess what? Your license getting pulled. So like, and there goes your income.
No, preaching
So
preaching to the converted.
you know,
Speaking about keeping something as a hobby and something that you love and that you love to buy people's collections, then
yep,
flip them out, sell them out in smaller
yep,
parcels.
yep.
I've spoken about this twice already, but now you're on the show, I'm gonna
Mhm,
talk to you about it again. This is an example of, like, literally the dream, and I think at the time I called it the wet dream.
yep,
They bought this entire it was actually, I think the true story was it was in a box in a collection for
yep,
$100. There was a
yep.
binder in there. They sent it off for grading. Initially, when they looked at it, they actually didn't realize it was a one of one. Under closer inspection, yeah, it was PSA 5. and they recently sold it for 76,000. So tell me about your impressions on this, and then tell us about some of your experiences in buying people's collections.
I mean, look, like it's always the dream to be able to identify it. And I've had this discussion with many other hobby guys as well, where they've, come across people who've come to them and said, "Oh, look, I've got some cards that I want to sell." And like they've spotted a card that the guy has underpriced. Like they don't realize that it is an extremely rare inset. And like they're selling it at like, a pittance compared to what it's actually worth. And, to their credit and to their moral fortitude, they actually told the guy the actual value of the card instead of going like, well, too bad, your price, I bought it and, it's mine, fair game. You know, there's two coins to this though. Like if it's listed on eBay and you've put it up, fair game, right? Like whatever price you've listed it up as, that's it. But this one's kind of like private sale. Guys come to him for advice and he's giving advice, and he didn't take advantage of him at that moment. He actually gave him a fair deal and said, look, this is the price it's worth. I'll give you, so and so percent.
I doubt he realized what was in. I mean, look, maybe do you
Mm,
know, I didn't even think about this. I felt the way that this story was portrayed was like they
mm.
didn't even realize what was in there.
No, no, I think he just kind of he just must have just bought the binder for the fun
Yeah,
of it and then just started flipping through it and realizing, oh crap, what have I found here?
there's a
And that's
monster in here.
happened.
Yeah,
I mean, look, we had that earlier in the year when I thought I had a Scottie Pippen.
kaboom.
Um, no, it
Oh, is
was
it a
a Precious
PMG?
Metal Gems. It
Yeah,
was a
yeah, yeah,
PMG. It,
yeah, yeah,
it looked like a PMG. It passed the eye test of a PMG, but it was missing key pieces. So it was missing PMG on the front. It was missing the serial number on the back, and like, but it was fun though. Like for a brief moment, I thought I had
yeah.
found gold,
You had your
and
Kobe
like
Bryant. Yeah.
I had my
So
Kobe Bryant find.
what was the outcome with that though? They took a red texted to the card and colored it in, right?
I mean, to my knowledge, everything, I think it was just, yeah, like the consensus amongst a lot of the PMG crew was that, yeah, like someone had just colored it in, and it was a colored in job. There is no such thing as PMGs without the serial. There's no
Yeah,
such things as PMGs without the PMG in the front,
yeah,
you know? And so like if I had that basically turned the card from like, a $2 card or a dollar card into like tens of thousands,
yeah.
you know?
So segue number 16 of today's show, Michael Jordan, red PMG PSA 5 recently just sold for 640,000. I'm actually shocked by this. Like some of the crappy Jordan inserts that are selling at the moment for 30K plus,
Yep.
and then a literal grail comes up and doesn't sell for $1 million. Like look, I'll give it its PSA 5, but
Yep.
as much as this is out of my league in an
Yep.
astronomical way, I actually think this is gonna be one of those sales where we're gonna look back at this moment in time and go, "This only sold for this much."
Yep.
What's your
Yep.
feelings on this bad boy?
I mean, look, it's almost like that Kobe MJ order, right? That came out. Like, it basically you see that you track the lineage of the card from like, $3,000 sale, $10,000 sale,
Yeah,
$60,000. And like it's crazy the amount of money that's in the hobby right now. And
yeah.
this probably goes back to your point about the Igor denim. Like, is it hobbyists or is it hedge fund people with a lot of money behind them and they're able to like pump and dump some of these cards?
Well, there is some funny sentiment in the economy at the moment where people are actually quoting that trading cards have done better than the S&P the last 5 years and are doing better than rare metals and rare earths. So that to me, I would actually say be like, if you're people outside of the hobby, be very, like, cautious
Mm,
with that advice, because
yep.
I feel like it's such a nuanced hobby that unless you know exactly what's going on and you're following it every day and you know the players, like, you can't just buy any card and expect it to go up at the same rate that the S&P is going up. You know what I mean? Like, that's like,
Yep.
it's not
Same with
how it
Pokemon.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, same with anything really. Like there's all these little micro, microfinances and microeconomics that are happening on all these different hobbies. Like Hot Wheels is the same, and like, like Beanie Babies are the same, and like, It's crazy, honestly. But yeah, that MJ, to get to your point about the MJ PMG, that
Yeah,
is so rare. Like so rare. Like I've never seen one in person. That's like I've seen a few PMGs in my time, but I've
yeah,
never once seen a PMG of MJ in my hands.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
640 for especially for MJ guys. Like the MJ guys are a different tax bracket to a lot of us other hobbyists.
yeah,
The amounts that they can spend on cards is insane. And the MJ market is really pushing up the value on a lot of the other inserts from the same series. So if an MJ sells for like 650,000, imagine like some player that's not even in the league anymore, barely played like a day in the game, would be like a few thousand for a PMG.
yeah. I mean, look, I don't follow the market that closely. So this year of legitimate PMGs, there's already been 3 sold. So
Yep.
they actually do sell,
They move, yep.
like, frequently enough. Like, it's not like they never sell.
No.
Yeah. Alright,
But you
tell
see
me
a lot, you
your
see a lot of retro.
say that again, mate, sorry.
You see a lot of retro. There's a lot of retro PMGs that show up.
There's, yeah,
So that's
heaps
from
more of
like
those sort of
yeah,
collegiate, yeah,
2013. Yep.
unlicensed upper deck ones. Yeah. Tell us your best story of buying someone's collection or buying a lot and what you've gotten out of it. Like, tell me the fun stuff about that.
I mean, look, there've been like in terms of like one of the best collections I ever picked up was like a friend of mine who was moving overseas, and he was making plans to move overseas, and he just was done with the hobby because his daughters aren't into his cards and he can't hand
Yep,
them over to him, and he just wanted to move them on. So like he actually ended up being two carloads of cards. That's how big it was. About 100,000 cards, a lot of Chicago Bulls, a lot of MJ actually
did you say
in there.
100,000 cards?
About 100,000 cards was what he estimated. Yep. So I've got boxes on boxes on boxes, and I think what was fun for me about it was I had time to sort it. It's very like if you've never really sat down and sorted cards, it's really cathartic.
As a breaker, actually, that is an enjoyable part of it, and you also get the opportunity to look at them in your hands, which is a different thing,
Yeah.
looking them on Insta or on Facebook, and yeah, I I understand what you're saying with that, but I also have an endpoint, like, by the time I've sorted 1 or 2 boxes, like, I'm kinda done for the night, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I did like little chunks. Like I did it in little chunks. I put on like I don't know Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something in the background,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah,
South Park.
100%. You can have some junk
Or
TV going on, yeah, Beavis and
yeah, just Rick
Butthead,
and
yeah,
Morty or something that I've watched 1,000 times, or like
Fraternity
But I just
Court,
had that. Yeah, had that playing in the background, and I've got like, I think probably one of the best ever purchases I made in terms of hobby was like these like trays.
did you make
These like
those?
Ultra Pro. Yeah, so I got the stickers. I got like the Ultra Pro tray, and then I bought the stickers on like
Oh,
Amazon.
right, okay,
And then I just stuck them on just to kind of like, and I've done like NBA ones as well. So there's like team ones as well with all the teams.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, just kind of just sorting through, and and just having a little bit of fun sorting through it all. And seeing cards that I haven't looked. It's kind of like the penny. It's like looking through the penny boxes or the dollar boxes at the hobby shows.
yeah,
Like it's something really fun about flicking through thousands and thousands of cards and like maybe finding something really nice,
yeah,
you know? And I think that was probably the best part of buying this collection was I had a rough estimate of what it was worth. And, I knew I was going to come out on top anyway because he gave me a great deal. But, I knew that it would take me some time to be able to recoup my cash, which I had plenty of time to do. But just sorting through it and being able to like go, oh, wow, like I've never seen this card before. And oh, wow, like there's cards that from my Shaq collection that I didn't even have,
yeah, right.
that I thought I had. I know I thought I had every Shaq, and I was just like, whoa.
How many boxes of cards is 100,000? Like, that's I'm sort of having trouble getting my head around it.
It is. It was like, well, it was basically like
How many
they got these. Like,
carloads was it?
it was two carloads.
Yeah, right.
It was two carloads, and a lot
Yeah.
of it is inside these kind of like 8 containers. So I've got one here that holds my top loaders.
I've been
So
in your
like,
car. Your car's not small either, so yeah.
no, so I got an X Trail, which is like not a small car, but like these
Yes,
eight.
right.
We had like he had like these boxes, which are these 8 container boxes that you can get from Bunnings, and there was like at least 40 of these with cards, just full of cards.
He must have had a huge change of heart because that's a lot of organization to go to. He's obviously cares for them. He
Yep.
sorted them out. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
He sorted it out. He even had like a massive collection of like Pop Funkos as well, which you can
yeah,
kind of
right.
see over my shoulder. Like you can see the
I could see
little
some of those. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like I
they've
was
gone
like
broke now, haven't they?
pretty much they kind
Yeah.
of over licensed and overpopulated and yeah couldn't get the job done. So yep. But yeah, I've actually inherited a Pop Funko MJ collection as well.
So would the next question is, would you do it again? And did you at least break even?
Yes, definitely would do it again, and I still do. I've always loved picking up collections. One of the most recent collections I picked up was from a buddy of mine in NZ. He was done with his Shaquille O'Neal collection,
Yeah,
and the whole reason why I started buying and selling collections was because there's always usually one or two cards I want from the collection, and so I know that by buying the collection, I'm going to get a big discount, and essentially I use the discount that I'm going to get to offset the two cards I want or the one
yeah,
card that I
right.
want.
Yeah,
So I know that I'll break even. Like, like if I keep the card I want and I sell the rest, I break
you're
even
happy.
and I get
Yeah,
it
yeah,
back.
yeah,
So that was the reason what started it all was like, okay, well, I've got funds to do this and I can use my bulk buying power to use the discount to buy the card I want.
yeah.
And so I've
What's
been
your
able to add a lot of Grail Shacks for that reason.
What's your advice to people as a seller? Because I think we need more sellers like you out there in the marketplace that know how to package their cards right, know to communicate with people, how to do fair pricing, da 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 da, on and on. So, like, what's your sage advice to people out there to have a good deal?
I think, look, I just remember that it's a hobby. Like be first and foremost, it's a hobby. Like I got into this as a hobby, like the reason why I buy and sell, is to help other hobbyists. And the best deals I've gotten are from guys who are also love the hobby, and so like when you're coming into sale, I think a lot of the people who have failed is because like they're expecting a certain amount back and they're not willing to sway or make a deal or and sometimes you've gone in too deep, like you've overpaid for something, and we've all done that. um but it's all learning, so like when I'm trying to make deals, I just I try to make the best deal I possibly can from the comps that I can find, and then look, and I've also been able to walk away. Like if my price is 5 and your price is 2, well, we either, if I can't meet you in the middle at 350,
Yeah.
right, the deal's not going to work no matter how we split it. But if our price is like, if mine's 5 and yours is 4, and I can go, oh, 450, are we good? Done. you know and so yeah,
So,
like just having
communicate,
ability to kind of, yep,
negotiate, walk away from
yep,
deals if you lose some.
yep,
Any other advice for people?
don't take it personal. Like at the end of the day, like like if your price is your price, my price is my price.
Yeah.
If we're not going to see eye to eye, just be willing to just be polite and say, look, like I don't think we're going to make a deal here. Our prices are too far apart. you know Thank you for your
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on from there.
I actually think the best person of that is John O'Michaels.
Yes.
I never really feel like he wheels and deals a lot, but I never feel like he takes it personal. He might
No,
make
like
jokes about the situation, but you know what I mean? Like, I think what some I'll admit to you, I'm not great at doing that. So I think maybe this
no,
might be like, your like and Jono's like kind of superpower. But I
Yeah.
think that's actually that's really good advice there. Tell me a funny story about when, because we talk about this in our group chat all the time. You'll screenshot people like sending you stuff from eBay or whatever. Like, what's your
Yeah.
funniest message you've had from a buyer who's like trying to muck you around or stitch you up?
Well, like I think like we've had weird ones. Like I used to dabble in like Apple products, and like Apple, like as the Apple Macs and iPods, and I will never touch them again after this one because
Yeah,
like it was, I listed it and I had it as like, this is a collectible item. It's not been opened since 2006. I do not guarantee it to be opened. Just there's no guarantees. Like I put it in my file as there's no guarantees that this will work.
yeah,
And he bought it off me for like, I don't know, $800 because it was like a sealed one and quite rare. So as you can see from that iPod mini, there's some pretty crazy prices for some of them, like for an open one, worthless. For a sealed, still in package, still worth quite a bit of money, as you can see from some of these. And the guy went out, bought it, opened it, and then just started making demands on like, it's not working, false advertising, blah, blah, blah. You know, why would I buy an Apple and not open it and use it? And then I was like, I think it was just two different worlds. And that's like, I kind of took it as, look, two things. I did the right thing on my side. It is listed. It is the first thing on the description that says this may not work. This is a
yeah,
collectible. Is you're buying it as a collectible,
yeah.
you know? There's no guarantees this works. And, answered every single question he had of me, like, is this a refurbished item? All that kind of stuff. And yeah, at the end of the day, he put in a report with Apple, with eBay. And then I showed eBay my evidence, and yeah, eBay sided with me, which
Okay.
is, like everything was marked and labeled, which is what you got to do as a seller. Make sure everything is marked and labeled correctly. When you send stuff off, make sure it's tracked, so you can track it has arrived, and
Yeah,
then have photos of the packaging when you send it. So like offline on Facebook, people do standard posts, which is untracked. So the only thing I can do as a seller is make sure that I have sent the product to you, right? So every time I sell something that people ask for standard post, I actually send a video of me dropping it in the letterbox.
yeah,
And that's the best I can do for you. Because if it goes missing from that point on, you didn't pay for tracking.
yeah.
There's actually no way I can assist from this point
I
on.
I do that too, but I do it for different reasons. I've got goldfish brain, so then without that tracking number,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll forget like who I've posted it
Yeah.
to. But yeah, 100%. I think especially during pandemic when people were doing deals left, right, and center,
Yeah.
that was something that some people did lean on to prove as when people wanted to save $4 on postage. I think
Yeah.
that's also the point here, isn't it? People want to save postage.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's
And that's
let's play a game.
fair.
Keep for, sell for. All right, the first game is going to be Wemby. And people at home, you can play along too. LeBron James, Steph Curry, SGA, Luka Edwards, Jokic, and Con Canapul.
For
Keep
keep or
for,
sell.
sell for.
Oh, I think. Look, if we're gonna go, we're talking about sells, so I'll just go with sells for now.
Yep.
I would definitely sell the Concanapple.
Yeah.
He's peak. He's basically just going back on your point on rookies. Rookies sell way higher than any other card I ever seen in the hobby right now, and they're selling for prices that are well exceeding what the player has done, which is it is very unusual for me. Like I collect old school players. These guys are they've done their job. They've won championships. They are MVPs. They've gotten their Hall of Fame. So these guys are done, and their prices are nowhere close to to a Concanapple. Like if you look at it, I think it was like there was some sales for like Concanapple, which was like if you look at his like Concanapple RPAs, there was like the Midnight Summer Solstice rookie that sold for like 1,500 on average, and it can go up to like 2,200 and more. And like that's insane, man. you're almost at Curry prices, right? For a Concanopple, which look, he might just be the next Steph Curry. He might just get 5 championships, and he's broken some records already, but he needs to go out and get the 5 championships.
Yeah, but what's the comp for someone like that though? Honestly, like Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
And
Clay, Steph, like look, he's off the mold of Clay Thompson and Steph Curry, right? Like Steph Curry started it, right? He's the one that changed the game that allows Knuppel to do what he's doing right now.
so I
You know,
would say the
'cause
difference between Knuppel and Steph is that Steph's handle is actually really
yes, way better.
underrated,
Yes.
and his ability to create his own shot, I personally think is
Yeah,
better than Knuppel's. I think
for sure.
Knuppel's a bigger guy and a different type of athlete, so they're very different players. But
Yeah.
I
But
think in
Clay's a
that
good comp.
sense, yeah, I I actually don't think the Steph Curry
Mm.
comp is good because in terms
No,
of
but
shooting numbers and three-pointers made, sure, but I think
I I only say
yeah,
that for the price, like, I only said
yeah,
that
sure.
because of the price that Knupple's
Yeah, yeah,
getting,
these prices are wild, aren't they? Yeah, so
Like,
but a lot
okay,
of these up here though are one of ones, man, so that's one of one
yep,
60K, 57K,
yep,
one of one, another that's one of
yep,
two
yep.
41.
Yep. But some of the ones I was looking at was like, yeah, like Equinox out of 50, just like your Igor Denim,
So
out
that
of
was
10.
15,000 for the number to 50.
Yep. And that was averaging 1,500 for a one color. And then if it goes two colors or three colors, like if it was a two color, it was about 2,000 and above
Yeah.
AUD. If it was the tops three,
Yeah, I agree
it
with you,
was
that's a sell, 100%.
sell.
Yeah,
Wemby, very much the same. If I pulled a Wemby, I'd probably sell it, to be honest.
yeah.
Um, just because
Is it
like he,
too much risk for you? Is that what you're worried about?
yeah, look, for the same price, what can you get? So if you shop around, what can you get? Like you could probably get yourself some really nice, Bill Russells, or even like, or like like my Shaq cards, they don't even come anywhere close to some of these Wembys, man. Like not even close. For the same money, same type of card, not even close.
Yeah, and Shaq has got an insane resume, popularity.
Yep.
He's a very likable
Just about
guy.
just about unstoppable.
Yeah,
Like he was unstoppable on the court. He It's a different kind of league to what Wemby is in right now. But yeah, the prices that Wemby is getting, if I hit one, I'm definitely just gonna sell that. I'll grade it first and then I'll sell it.
yeah, right. I think Wemby is insane. He is an absolute freak of nature. He's incredibly skilled. We've never seen an athlete this tall and this agile and this coordinated ever. And all of that combined, I get why people are hyped about this dude. And
Yes.
I'm actually trying to get a surgeon to come onto the show, and I want to talk about him like specifically and be like, look at this guy, and what are your concerns about him? Because I would love to
Hmm.
actually hear someone say, okay, people who are this tall are predisposed to these types of injuries. Like, it's really interesting to me that he's had a clot in his arm.
Yes.
Like that to me is unusual, and I've never heard such a young man having something like that. Like, does he have a clotting disorder? Is this normal for a man of this size because of all the travel
Yep.
that he's doing and the bumps and
And all the
bruises, da
work
da da
he's
da, you
yeah.
know?
Yep.
Yeah. But I and again, I need to do more work on this, but my comp for him is Hakeem.
Hmm.
I would love to see him have the same resume as Hakeem.
Hmm.
I think that would be a fantastic outcome for him. But you comp the prices here, and this is like to me, it's out of whack. So
Like seriously, like I would like, and there've been times where like I'd probably sell some to maybe buy some other ones that are serial numbered.
yeah,
So like I would sell it to upgrade, or I would sell it to get something a bit more rarer, or
yeah,
I would, if I was collecting him, then I would just keep the rarest stuff,
yeah.
not the high pop count, silver prisms. Although like silver prisms seem to be the way that people are assessing value, you know, just like how
I think it's easy to because it gives you a really flat benchmark. There's lots of sales data. Like, look at this,
yeah.
heaps of sales
And it's
data. Population's high. you
And
know.
I think it's also been the norm for the long time now to go look at a Silver Prism PSA 10 and assess the value of that card and be able to kind of judge someone's litmus of like, is their pricing fair or is it inflated based off of like a Silver Prism,
Abs
Luka Doncic 10 or like a
Yeah,
Wemby 10 or
absolutely.
something. You go like,
Yeah.
that's how but like, yeah, now with tops in the game, is it a tops chrome, you know, a replacement, right? To
Yeah.
take the spot, you know.
You've got
The other
Jokic as
key,
this
yep, as a
y
potential sell.
I
I
disagree with
love
this, by
him.
the way, so you
Mm.
need to lay this out, like, very clearly because,
Well,
I'm ready to
I
pounce.
couldn't
Yeah.
keep all. You gave me a list, so I had to sell some, keep some. So for the ones I wanted to keep, I wanted to keep like I actually thought it was two lists. So I think, look, he was on the fence for me. If I had like because I had to also sell him and sell SGA in order for me to keep LeBron, Curry, Luca, and Edwards.
Okay.
Um, so I had to push him out because I wanted to keep the other four. So like, there's a reason he was on the line.
Okay, fine. So
Um, yeah.
now the question is, why did you keep Luca instead of SGA or Jokic? Like, present that argument
Um,
because I'm
so
pro SGA and Jokic over Luca
yeah.
for my choices. Yeah.
Look, Luca is in a big market. He's in the LA market.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of hobby, he's pretty much going to be there for a very long time now. And if he continues on the trajectory that he's doing, which if he can stop bitching to the refs for like 5 minutes, you know, he would
He
be
got
the
fined
ultimate player.
50K the other day.
He just needs to stop complaining. If he stops
Yeah.
complaining and plays, he'd probably be the ultimate player. That's the one knock that I have against him is you watch him on offense. He's an absolute maestro, unstoppable.
Yeah,
Haven't seen
yeah.
anybody play like that. But then like it's just the bitching and it lets his team down because like it's just like now you're playing 4-on-5. And the opponents know that too. The moment he starts complaining, they just
They
inbound the
just
ball
push it
and
the
run
other way.
straight
Yeah,
down,
100%. Yeah.
push it the other way. Whatever
Yeah.
basket he got is gone, you know. Um, what was interesting is that actually while he's been playing in LA, whenever LeBron is out, like the last two games LeBron's been out and they've been phenomenal. So like there's an equation there for like a Luca Austin Reeves works better than with the three of them.
Yeah.
And the reason why I also to get to the point about why I'm keeping LeBron, he's about to retire. He's almost done. His legacy's cemented. He's definitely one of the best players of all time. You
Yeah.
know, and he'll go down for this generation as their goat, just as how MJ was my goat for my generation. Um, yeah, his cards are going to go up for sure. Um,
I agree with you. His stuff is gonna go up, but the part I'll slightly push back on is that the previous generation mostly was, ruled by Jordan, whereas I feel
mm,
like this generation is split into 2 groups, and it's really
yes.
clearly delineated. It's Steph Curry and LeBron
Mhm.
James. So you're either pro Steph Curry or in Steph Curry's camp, or you're in LeBron's camp, right? I think
Which
that's
is why
the
I also kept Curry. You know,
yeah.
so that's the reason why I kept Curry as well because, like, yeah, like he's changed the game. He changed the
So you
game,
kept LeBron, Curry, Luka, and
and
Anthony
Ant-Man.
Edwards.
Yeah, who's Michael Jordan's son? So
All right, keep for, sell for, veteran edition. Jordan, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird.
look, this one. I mean, look, Shaq was an automatic lock for me, but
Yeah,
that was pretty
that's
much
fine.
unfair.
I'll give you that considering
Yeah.
your name is Shaq Foo 32. Yeah.
Automatics were pretty much automatic keeps was definitely Jordan and Kobe. Um, they're just going up, man. They just keep going up.
Yeah.
Like I jumped on board and picked up a few Jordan autos when I had a chance, and those cards have already gone up in value by, you know, 15-20%. And that was only picked up like in less than 6 to 8 months ago, you know.
Yeah, um yeah, they've gone up.
Kobe's Kobe, he's passed away, rest in peace. If anything, like with Bam beating the record for Kobe's record, there might be even another spike for Kobe because people were like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna go back and watch Kobe's 81."
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah.
so you never know. By Bam being in the highlight reels, Kobe might get a spike. My other keeps was probably I do love Bill Russell. I think he's just very underrated in terms
Yeah.
of like, like what he's done for the league. There's nobody else that's won as many championships that he has. And then nobody else has actually won championships while being the coach as well. Like he won championships as coach of the Boston Celtics.
That's so a player coach has never
Yeah.
won a championship since Bill Russell.
Yeah. Like he just kind of he took
Yeah,
over from
right.
Red Auerbach and
That's
he
a
just like
great trivia question, man.
he took over. He won a chip, without Red.
Yeah.
And like, and I love Bill. Like, he just you hear his stories. He was like he battled Wilt Chamberlain, and Wilt Chamberlain was a monster, like an absolute monster, you
Yeah.
know. And Russell battled that beast and kept winning. Like Wilt Chamberlain has so few championships only because he was in the same era as Bill Russell, just as how LeBron has less championships because of Stephen Curry, you
Yeah.
know. The other keep for me for the four of them would probably be Tim Duncan. Actually, I think his hobby story has only really started to emerge again now that he's been signing recently.
I'm so glad
Um,
he's signing again, man.
like
Yeah.
he was gone for such a long time, and like his
Yeah.
values were so high. And his autograph is so beautiful. Like there's no, he fits the resume. Like if I was when I was finding my PC player, Tim Duncan I put on my list because yeah, championship caliber. I liked watching him play, the big fundamental, love his autograph. A lot of his cards that I wanted, a lot of the cards that I wanted also featured Tim Duncan because he was such a big star back in the days. And so I could also get like the jambalayas, I could also get, you know, Topps Chrome refractors and a lot of the rare stuff. But because his autograph was so out of reach, I didn't collect him in the end because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah. Just help me out with some NBA trivia. I'm pretty sure this is Duncan's rookie card, right?
Which one is that one? That is
The
yeah, Topps
1997
Topps
Topps
Chrome
Chrome.
997. Yep.
So for $5,000, you can get a PSA 10 of his refractor for 106. All right, like what am I missing here? That's a really good buy, isn't it?
Oh look, it's a good buy if you love Tim Duncan. His I don't expect it to keep like I don't expect it to spike in value, which is a good thing.
It's up
Um,
20% the last 12 months. It's rated as undervalued by Card Letter by 12, nearly 12.5%.
it's
Okay, let
because
me
also
repropose this to you.
hmm,
If you buy this today and you put it away for 20 years, are you gonna be up or down on this card?
oh, definitely you'll still be up.
Yeah. That's what I
You
reckon
know,
too,
it
man.
he's got that caliber. He's got that freaking the championship DNA, right? Five chips. You know, he's got the
Yeah.
legend. His
I
his
think
his story has already been written. Which is where this is what the point I was talking about earlier about the rookies is that yeah, okay, you could spend about 2,500 on a Knuckle now, but is he
yeah.
going to be at Clay's prices in 6 years' time? In 8 years' time? He might be. If you go back, like if you want to go back and look at Clay Thompson, and look at his prices and see where they end up now, you'll see what may happen to some of these rookies. Like I was randomly playing around and I think I flicked around and I found like who is it? Like Dylan Harper, who's another hot rookie, right? Like another
Yeah.
decent prospect out of the Spurs. He's a good player. He's
Yeah,
not, he's a good player. Like I
he's a
really
good
like him.
player. I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah.
Is he a superstar? Probably not, right? But if you had to hazard a guess as to like the price that you would pay for a Dylan Harper in the same kind of series as the Concanoople that I found earlier,
Yeah.
which is like a midnight equinox rookie, out of 20, it was 1,350.
Yeah, that just
You know what
fits
I mean?
my Topps Chrome, Topps bubble that we're in, man.
right?
You, you're just you're just
that's a
helping my
lot.
argument out. Yeah.
I know that is just a lot of money for for this guy. Like I paid around that for my Shaquille O'Neal patch auto from Flawless, which is Flawless is a top tier product with a three color patch with a Shaquille O'Neal. It's not a rookie, I know that, but there's no Shaquille O'Neal rookies released in this generation. And I reckon if Shaq, was reborn and playing now and doing what he's doing, redefining the league, he might be $1,000 rookies.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yep.
He's a better
Right.
prospect than Cooper.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, Cooper's prices are sky high too, and I think that's always the thing about these rookies. Like, if you look back at previous draft classes, you know, Zion didn't do well. His values tanked. Ja Morant's have tanked. LaMelo Ball, who's currently a star in the league, you look at his rookie prices from when they released to what they are right now. It hasn't held on in terms of value.
Yeah, so just to take your point here, the number to 50 card, which is very similar to the denim one that we spoke about earlier in the
Yep.
show, this is selling for 3,700. So essentially like double the price of the. But
Of the Eagle Denim.
so in that case, I would actually say that I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. The denim is overpriced. I would rather pay 3.7 for the Harper than 1.5, or you know what I mean?
I'd sell them
Yeah,
both. I'd sell them both in a
yeah, yeah,
heartbeat.
yeah. True, true.
Because like
Let's.
if you look at
Sorry,
the
mate. Up
list,
to you.
yep. If you look at the list, like there's Larry Bird on this list, and you can go buy yourself a Larry Bird, patch autograph for like less than $1,000.
Yeah, the
And
only
that's
thing you have to
yeah,
add to Larry Bird though is
yeah,
there's no reliable
yeah,
database out there that says Larry Bird has signed this many cards.
yeah,
And I would put Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and actually I
yeah,
want to tentatively put Steph Curry into this. They're all very generous signers. So
yes,
you're never going to be hunting around for too long for a Magic, a Larry Bird,
yeah,
and not be able to purchase one for
yeah,
around $200 or so. Steph Curry's a separate thing altogether. That's just a
yeah,
different price point. But my argument, I would still hold that true with that. There's a lot of them out there, man. So I think
mm,
if you're talking about Larry Bird, I think in that instance, you have to add on the caveat. It has to be like a game worn patch autograph.
yep,
It has to be a low numbered, like number to say 5 or to 10. I think
yep,
getting something that's unnumbered or numbered to say 200, don't compare it to like a gold rookie card. Do you know what I mean?
no, no, for sure. And like
Yeah.
there's no comp. Like what? Like I think this is where like some of it has to be NBA resume versus hobby resume. There's these two different these two different brackets, so like, you know
100%.
so
That's
like,
the Bam
yeah,
Adebayo argument, yeah.
yeah, like NBA resume, Bam Adebayo kills a lot of these rookies like a Derek Queen, 10 times out of 10,
Hey, hey, be
but
careful, Derek Queen. That's my boy. You go easy there.
but look, I love Derek Queen. He's still young. His story hasn't been written yet, so like it's and like was it like there's that kid out of freaking Sacramento, Reno, he's going out and getting it done now because half the team is tanking and
I
he's
couldn't
dropping
tell you.
20 and 10,
I
you
couldn't
know?
tell you. I've barely watched a Kings game since Fox left, to be honest. I could care less. Who is the
No, but like
Sacramento Kings?
yeah, but like this goes to the point like Igor Denim, like you're like who watches Brooklyn unless I want
Yeah.
to watch MPJ play a solo game. Um, you know.
So you
So
can have one Igor Denim gold autograph to 50, or you can have a 10 Ja Morant. Okay, I'm mucking up the numbers here. 8 Ja Morant rookie 10s. Can you believe that? It's trading at
it's crazy, right?
$175 at the moment.
The gambler in me would take the Ja Morant only because I feel that he can still redeem himself somehow. More than Igor Denim.
That's
I think you might
insane.
even come up. You might even actually come up as like both of them losing. To be honest, you may end up doing a swap, and then both values just tanking.
Hey, man, we're over an hour. let's finish off. What would you like to talk about before we head off today?
Let's have a look. See. So look, I guess what hobby surprises. I think or NBA surprises this year. I was look. I'm very very surprised by how good the rookie batch has been this year.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a good class. I agree.
You know, absolutely amazing class has come through. You know, like from VJ Edgecombe doing what he's doing in Philly, to like Dylan Harper playing in the Spurs, Derek Queen over in New Orleans, Conknuppel making it an actual run for the rookie of the year. Like he's pretty much he'll probably steal it at this point.
Yeah.
Um, he's just been so consistent. He's
And
just
if
been such a good
Knuckle wins, I've got no problem with that because then they're
yeah,
also supporting winning. Because I feel
yeah.
like at the moment, the Mavericks, they're not actually genuinely trying to win, whereas the Hornets are really competitive this year, and
He's
they're in a good
actually
spot.
he's actually put them in a position which is very rare to have a rookie come in and put in an impact that he has and affect the game the way he has and help the team the way he has. Like he's a key reason why they are winning. A healthy lineup with him, Bridges, Lamelo, Miller, and Diabate,
Yeah.
a very dangerous and scary opposition.
Well, especially Diabate, that guy's like a little bit crazy, to be honest.
He's a little insane, and I love it. I've watched a lot
Yeah.
of Charlotte this year. I'm a
Yeah.
Magic fan for now until like Vegas has their team, and then as I've told you before, when Vegas has a new expansion team, I will jump on that wagon, and then that will be my team going forward.
Okay.
Because I've just never had a team. I've been a lot of NBA fans. We jump around to follow our players, but we haven't had a team we follow.
All
And
right.
I've always been jealous of my footy friends who like have a
Who are passionate
team and
about a
they're
team.
hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So,
yeah.
what's your criteria of picking a team then? This will be our last question before we go out. Joe Foo's criteria for picking a NBA franchise.
I Originally it was the logo. Like I gotta like the logo. If I don't like the logo, I gotta wear t-shirts and stuff. Which is the reason why I really hated the Houston one for a long time. Because I just hate the way they did that R and the way that their uniform looked.
I love that
I,
logo.
I miss the '90s logo with the freaking rocket coming around the coming
Yeah, yeah,
around the planet.
yeah.
Um, so I guess a good logo helps, but I think for me it's gonna have to be look new team, new expansion, fresh, fresh team, and I can follow them from the start. And because of my little side passion of of punting, it makes sense that Vegas is my team.
Thank you so much, Joe, for coming on tonight. This has gone so fast for me. It just feels like it's been a 15-minute chat. So thank you so much.
No, absolute pleasure, my friend. Absolute pleasure.
Thanks everyone out there for listening. We'll catch you guys next week. Shout
Yeah.
outs Card Sharky Marky, Dolly Card PC, RJ Simp AU Co. Sorry if I got that one wrong. Double J Collects, SJ2K underscore com. G'day, SJ. Mr. Lalo, Scotty James 23, Collectibles AU, Baller Collectibles, and BP underscore collectibles. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.
See ya.
Stick around, man. We'll have a
Yeah.
yeah.